going to be a quick little tutorial on Brimstone Mollies for every single bomb plant, every single popular bomb plant on every single site. So we're going to start with Ascent, and the two popular spots I'm going to be trying to molly are going to be right here and right here. These two spots right here. These two spots are recommended based on the fact that you can hold them well from a main here and also from heaven, and they have easy view for retakes on tree, for example. They both have very easy view. So let's go over to the first molly, which is going to be right here. Alright, so to start off with the first molly, you're going to want to walk right against this box. Just look at the box. You're going to aim. You see the little mouse button just above your molly icon. There's a little crosshair in between. So what you're going to do is you're going to position the top of the box with the crosshair in it to the top, like between those two little spikes, as you can see right there. And then you're just going to go a little bit up until the little arrow at the bottom hits the edge. So just like that. And then that should be perfectly on default. Just like that. So for the second molly, which is going to be right here on this plant spot, what you're going to want to do is you're going to walk into this corner. You're going to put your top right of your box, your cursor box, the top right of it, just to the edge of that little explosion piece coming out. And then the triangle under your cursor, you're going to slowly move to the left until you hit the left side of the spike, like that. And then you shoot it. And that should be perfectly onto the plant, just like that. Alright, now over at B site, we're going to be working with two plant spots. We're going to be working with right here, right behind the screen box, and in the corner right here. And those are going to be our two plant spots. I know some people random plant somewhere over here sometimes. I've seen people plant here in this corner. But hypothetically, this corner is just way too hard to get a molly into. As you can clearly tell, you need like really good precision. But yeah. Alright, so starting off with this first molly, we're going to be starting off with this one right here, just on default. So this one's super easy. You see this little sharp speck coming out, the little white one. What you're going to do is you're going to aim where the white one meets that kind of darker spike, and then you're going to look up. You see your little cursor box right here. You're just going to put the top left of your cursor box where those two meet. Just like that. Just like that. And then that should be perfectly onto the default plant spot. Just like that. This one's very similar to the other molly as well. You're standing in the same spot, but all you're going to be changing is you're going to still be using the top left. You're going to find where that was, and then you're going to go down, and you're going to keep going down until you see this little, there's three little triangles coming out. You're going to aim for the tip of the bottom one with your bottom left, or your top left box there. And then you're going to go slightly to the right, like this, and then shoot it. And that should be perfectly onto that bomb plant, just like that. Perfect. Alright, so those were all the mollies for Ascent here. We're going to be moving on to the mollies for bind, so let's switch right over to those. Alright, so here's the first lineup. This is going to be for truck, just default. What you're going to do is you're going to aim your cursor right here. You're going to go all the way up until you put the bottom triangle of your mouse button on the orange there. Just like, line it up again. Just like that. And then that should perfectly land onto default. Just like that. Beautiful. Alright, I'm now over at Tetris. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be aiming at this little pole right here. You're going to move your cursor all the way up until the top of your box is in line with that flare, just like that. Then you go ahead and shoot it, and just like that, your molly's gonna land perfectly onto Tetris, just like that. So as Brim mollies, as some Brim players might know, Brim mollies on B is very hard, just due to this massive building right here. It's a real way to work around. It's really hard to work around. But I'm going to be using 2 mollies for default plant spot. I will not be touching right side, just because that's more of like a spawn play. You can think of one there. It's pretty easy to find one. I've found one in here before. It's not terribly hard, but it is tricky. But I'm going to show you this one. This one's right on Fountain. There's one which is kind of a rushed molly that you can just kind of chuck. It's not really on lineup, but it's just kind of a quick molly. This one's an actual lineup. You want to aim right at the center star, just like this. And then you're going to move your box to be in line, your top left box to be in line at the top of that. Then that should land perfectly onto the default bomb, just like that. And then for the quick molly, you're going to walk right into this corner until you get stuck. And you're going to aim at this second dark spot up. You're going to aim at the top right there. And then you just shoot that, and that's just a quick little molly to get people off. If somebody's sticking on it, for example, they can't stick on it through here. They can't stick here. They get hit. So we're going to be moving on to probably Split next. So yeah, we'll see you there. Alright, so we are over on Split now. So on Split, I think one of the most important mollies is on A. You can get this really good molly on A, which is probably my favorite molly ever. But the sad part is this is going to be the only molly for Split. I'm going to show you one, actually I'll show you 2 mollies. One's going to be a lineup, and one's going to be just kind of a quick lineup if you want to hold heaven, but also get your molly off behind screen. So the plant spot's going to be behind screen. That's just going to be the default plant spot. There's going to be no other plant spots, just based on because that's probably the most popular. It's very hard to get a molly into elbow as well. And B site, it is literally impossible to get mollies in, as you can see, because this is B site. So yeah, it's just really impossible to get mollies in. But I'm going to show you the really important molly here. So what you're going to be aiming at is this top brown building, and then you're going to move your cursor to the right until you hit this corner. You don't want to go all the way to this corner, you only want to go to this corner. But you want to make sure that you move it like that. You don't want to be down like this, because that'll mess it up. You want to be against the brown, right where it bleeds into the white, and then go all the way right until you hit this crevice here. And then you can go ahead and shoot that, and that's going to go bounce off, and it's going to land right on default like that, perfectly. The quick molly for heaven, if it's just, you're going to be right here, you can aim at the bottom right of this K, just like this. Just go ahead and shoot that, and that is a perfect molly for right behind the screen. Move on to the last map, which is Haven. Alright, so we're going to start on C long. This is kind of a simple molly. It's not super complicated. It might seem complicated, but it really is not. So this might seem kind of weird. A lot of people have told me this, but you'll see 3 purple flowers. You're going to aim at this 3rd purple flower right here. It's kind of on its own, so you can kind of tell pretty easily. And now what you're going to do is you're going to ping right here, just slightly into the box, and then you're going to follow it up all the way. You can probably also use like this, for example, but now you're just going to move your screen all the way up until the roof disappears. As you can see, roof is there, roof is gone. So you shoot it, and then that should be perfectly onto the plant spot, just like that. So yeah, that's a really useful one. Alright, so for this next molly, this molly was made pre right hand change mode. I use left hand personally, so even for this clip I had to change the right hand to sorry left hand users. But it's really easy. You can just like, once you have your game started, you can just switch to general and just have this screen open. So whenever you click escape, it opens this screen, so you'll see that. So what you do is right here, let's say you have left hand, what you're gonna do is you're gonna aim, you wanna walk right against here, you're gonna aim at this top right of this building, just like this, and you're gonna go all the way up until your green bar, so I'm gonna switch now, until your green molly bar is, like the bottom of the green molly bar is to the top of that roof there. Just until it's touching it, just like that, and then you're gonna go ahead and shoot that, and then that should land perfectly onto default, just like that. And that's it for the Brimstone Molly lineups.